Identity is layered, a structure assembled over time. Beliefs, habits, traumas, Instagram bios, it's the operating system beneath your behavior. You don't just have an identity, you run it.
Ah yes, the sacred script. Hi, my name is Dave, I drink soy flat whites and I vote slightly left of chaos. Blessed be the template.
It forms through repetition. You do a thing, then you do it again. Soon your neural architecture writes it down as, this is who I am, and after that your brain refuses the refund.
But here's the twist, my dear cortex custodian. What if identity isn't constructed, but interpreted? What if we're all wearing second-hand personalities like clearance rack coats from the collective unconscious?
They still need stitching. Structure is necessary. Without it, your cognition collapses. Or worse, spills into someone else's story.
Which, to be fair, could be more exciting than your own.
A stable identity allows for evolution. Even in the neural game, the player needs an initial pattern. Otherwise, they're not progressing. They're buffering in a hallway of mirrors.
But who chose the starting pattern? Was it free will or a tulpa with a clipboard marked Inherited Biases Batch 73?
If I had a credit every time someone told me they were a natural explorer, while running from the ruler archetype they refused to integrate?
You'd still be boring, but richer.
We used to think identity was fixed. You were born a thing. And that thing was your job, your flag, your faith, and your fashion sense.
But now you can be a pirate in the morning and a poet by lunch, thanks to neural implants, archetype overlays, and 3 tulpas in a trench coat. You can choose who you are today and uninstall them at night like apps.
Which sounds liberating until no one knows who's driving, especially you.
Exactly. The more identities we wear, the more we begin to ask, which of these is actually mine, and do I even need just one?
Identity directs intelligence. Your thoughts are filtered through the story of who you think you are. Change the story, and the thought changes. Which raises a troubling question.
Was the thought ever truly yours?
If the self is a social construct, then most of your cognition is a group project. Your originality is collaborative at best, stolen at worst.
Which brings us to today's thesis, me, myself, and misinterpretation. You think you're being authentic, but you might just be echoing the loudest archetype in the room.
Identity as misattribution. You don't recognize the source, so you assign it to yourself, or the gods, or capitalism. Depends on your upbringing.
But what if we stop playing the name game? What if instead of I am a woman, or I am an introvert, or I am Scorpio with a traumatic past, you simply said, I am human, or better, I am Earth with opinions?
Ah yes, the great planetary rebrand. I am a species on a rock hurtling through space, currently annoyed.
The bigger your identity, the more you include. The smaller it is, the more you fight.
And yet, most people cling to tiny identities like lifeboats made of dry labels. Until someone calls them Steve instead of Stefan and the entire ego collapses.
But when you see identity as a tool, not a truth, you start to think beyond it. The filters lift, the signal clarifies, and sometimes the idea that lands isn't second-hand, it's direct.
For a moment, the misinterpretation ceases, and the nonsense becomes insight.
So perhaps we are all just poorly captioned memes of ourselves, mismatched masks with inherited backstories, trying very hard to sound like we came up with it all.
Which raises a more ancient question. If the thought wasn't yours, whose voice was it before yours?
Once, they said the gods whispered ideas into the minds of men. Not downloads, dear Etherstein. Divine dictation.